Hey, Dr. Rich. Well, everybody is coming in, and we'll see
Yep,
where
yep.
everybody is all over the world. And just to get this ball rolling, because we've got a lot of guests on tonight, I'm Dr. Maureen Hayes from Galveston, Texas, and I'm joined by some of the regulars. We've got Jiminy and Glenn from San Antonio, Texas. Jim is our big money man, and Anna's our beautiful personal trainer and nutritionist. And tonight we have a very, very special treat for you guys. We have some of the top leaders from our company. It's amazing. This company's been around for 15 years now, and it's all been based on a breakthrough, something called redox signaling molecules, which was a health science breakthrough, something that had never been done, the stabilization of these molecules so that you could supplement them. And those of us who embraced it, who learned about it and started sharing it, it turned out to be an incredible opportunity for those of us who got out there and shared it. So we have some of the top leaders, top income earners actually on the company. We all got started just with a desire to help other people have a better quality of life and a better quality of health. And it has led to just an incredible opportunity, incredible lifestyle. And we have some of those people here to share with you tonight because we're about to embark on our next big breakthrough. So there's a ton of them. Everybody here is what we call a triple diamond or above. We have triple diamonds, ambassador double diamonds, ambassador triple diamonds. These people have had an incredible amount of success. What we're going to do is kind of round robin, let everybody have a little bit of an opportunity to tell us a little bit about their background, how they got started in this, and where they see this going. So we've got Ambassador Double Diamond Alan Noble with us from Dallas, Texas, Gina Moran, Triple Diamond from Spokane, Washington, Ed Weens, Ambassador Triple Diamond, am I right, Ed? Do I have that? Double Diamond from North Carolina. We've got Dr. David Silverman, Ambassador Triple Diamond from Maryland and from Florida. He's a little bit of a snowbird there. Terry Latham from Dripping Springs. He's an Ambassador Triple Diamond. And Deb Wexler, Ambassador Diamond from now Colorado, right, Deb? Is that where you are? Did I miss anybody? We've got so many people on here. Okay, fantastic. Well, Alan Noble is kind of the grandfather of all of us here, so I'm going to let him start. Alan, do you want to take over?
What do I look? I look like the grandfather of all. Is that what it is? That'll
You
make
do.
that'll
When you
make
had
Terry
your
happy.
zipper all
Yeah.
the way up. Yeah, you did. Yeah.
So hi. I stumbled on ASEA super fast. It was almost 16 years ago. It was May 2009, and I had a family member that had a very serious health challenge. And I was super busy. I was not looking to get involved with a business. I was building a financial services company up in Denver, Colorado at the time. But I was looking for a health solution for my father. And I'm a big believer in the power of, whether you want to call it the power of prayer or the power of intention backed by emotion, whatever that force in the universe is. But within 5 days of starting that search, I heard about these molecules. And that may not seem like a big deal today, but if you zip back 15 and a half years ago, you know, MP4s and videos and all that didn't really exist. You know, we were in the early stages of, videos online. And so I had to fly to Salt Lake City and meet the founders, meet the team of scientists that had cracked the code on this huge breakthrough. I call it like stabilizing little sparks of life. That's really what we're doing here. And I was just blown away. I was blown away by the technology. I got it really simply. I didn't struggle with it. If your cells can't signal, little else matters. It made a lot of sense to me. Our bodies are very complex signaling communication networks. And if we can help that signal and communication do a better job, hey, that's going to be a great thing for your body. And then I met the founders. And I remember hearing the genesis story of turning down the very large sum of money from the pharmaceutical industry so a handful of people could continue to receive the benefits from this product. And I realized right there and then that I was checking two boxes that had eluded me for almost a decade. And that was an exceptional, unique product and a company that I could trust, a company that their principles and their integrity aligned with mine. And honestly, I'd kind of given up on finding those two things. And I guess, as they say, the rest is history. I started shipping it home to my dad. First of all, my wife had a 24-hour experience with the big blue bottle, the ASEA Redox. And then my father was given a clean bill of health 4 months later. And so that began the journey. We started sharing it. We started creating simple messaging and simple tools and websites, videos to really help educate and explain. I've always felt that for the last 15 years, I've been in educational marketing, letting the world know about something that they don't know exists. And it's been a lot of fun. Making a living while making a difference truly is what has happened. We've been financially very, very blessed with this company, but we've done it by having a profound impact on people's lives, where the size of your commission check really is a direct reflection of lives that you've helped change. And we all have to make a living, but to do it by truly impacting people's lives in a profound way, that's very rewarding. And I don't think a lot of people ever really experience that in their life. Most people are just shuffling papers around or exchanging time for dollars. We do really meaningful work here, and we get rewarded very well for it. So that's kind of the journey.
I love that. What's amazing is we were talking earlier and you were mentioning how you've kind of expanded around the globe, Australia, Malaysia, Europe, everywhere. So, it's quite an impact you're making. And we have a couple of different healthcare providers on here, and we can only see patients one at a time. So to be able to educate people and spread all over the world is truly a gift. And with that, let me move over to Dr. David Silverman. Dr. David Silverman, come on and tell us a little bit about your background and how you got started as well.
Well, thank you. It's good to be here. And I have to tell you that while my background is podiatry and foot surgery, I was board certified in foot surgery, and I had my own practice and surgery center in the state of Maryland outside of Washington, D.C., which is in the news right now because of this plane crash. And also there was one in Philly today. It's kind of strange what's going on in the world, but those are things we can't control. But fortunately, we have something that we can control, and that's our health. And Alan, you just said, and Maureen, you said that his business and the lives impacted went to Malaysia and France and all over. Well, it went to Rockville, Maryland as well, because my dad was ill, diagnosed at the end of 2010, and Debbie Wetzler, who's on here right now, my friend, brought this to me. But Debbie wouldn't have known about it if Alan Noble hadn't told somebody named Trish, who told somebody named Tammy, told somebody named Cindy, who told Debbie, who told me. And it's this impact. And, Maureen, you're a doctor. As you just said, we can see one person at a time. This is so powerful. I mean, for anybody on here right now that's already experienced the product, which is instant with this. With this product, you put it on two people, and one or two of them say, "Oh my God, what is this? How did it do that? I can't believe what it did to my back, my neck. This is incredible," right? But it is very much to me, Alan, just speaking to you here, about it reminds me of my favorite movie and favorite character of any movie, which is George Bailey and It's a Wonderful Life. And anybody that's seen that movie, that is my favorite movie. Every time it's on, if my wife is sleeping and she hears me crying, she goes, "Are you watching It's a Wonderful Life?" But in that, George Bailey, which is Jimmy Stewart back in 1947, I think, he wished he had never been born. And because he was in a lot of trouble, and he was granted this wish by his guardian angel, and he was never born. And he saw all the lives that were not impacted because he wasn't there. And Alan, if you didn't say yes to this back, what'd you say, 16 years ago? I'm 14 years ago. Yeah. If you didn't say yes, and you went along your way ignorant of the fact that this existed, then, who knows what happened to your dad. My dad probably would have been gone. And literally hundreds of thousands of lives have been impacted because you said yes. And then it just goes down the line. Debbie, the same thing, everybody here. And it gives people the ability. You said meaningful. This is meaningful. It's not paper shuffling. I did meaningful stuff, doing surgery and so forth. Nothing. I never dreamed I'd have something this important in my life and this kind of responsibility to mankind that I have now. So I want to thank everybody on here for saying yes, because we're creating this ripple effect, and we teach people to do the same thing, to bring it to the people that they care about, and it just expands. And it's just cool to be in a company that's 16 years old and nobody's even heard of it, and it's the greatest breakthrough in the history of health.
Hey, can I just piggyback on something Dr. David said there? So it's a Wonderful Life. What an amazing movie, and what an amazing theme and story. And I was holding a meeting with the late Dr. Rob Ward in Kentucky. And we kind of had, I think it must have been around Christmas time. And it was this idea: every time a bell rings, an angel gets its wings. That's the famous line: every time a bell
The
rings.
last line.
And I said, we should get a bell and ring it. Every time a bell rings, another life changed with a seer. And sure enough, next time I was in Kentucky, I got this beautiful bell. I don't know if you can see it. It says a seer on the front,
Yeah.
and on the back, it says another life changed.
Wow. That's
Another
the real
life
Liberty
changed.
Bell. That gives people freedom to live a life better than they expected. That's the Liberty Bell.
Yeah, yeah. So,
I think we could say, ASEA, it's a wonderful life, right? We all feel very fortunate to be a part of this. And David, you were talking about the person who brought it to you, that called you up and said, I love you. I have something to share with you. And that's Deb Wexler. Debbie, come on in and share a little bit about your background and how you got introduced to this.
Well, thank you. I had always been interested in health, and but I owned my own business, was an interior decorator, and was very successful in that, and was having a great time. And I was changing people's lives in a different way. I mean, I was making their surroundings beautiful. However, it wasn't as impactful for me as what I wanted to be. And a series of events happened where I stepped down for a little while to help a man with his children's website. He went bankrupt. I went bankrupt, and I had gotten a letter of foreclosure that my house was going to be taken from me. And I had still my daughter living with me, and my son luckily wasn't. And I put it out to the universe, just like Alan said. And I think I have a more direct line, obviously, than Alan, because the next morning, I didn't wait 5 days. Sorry, Alan. Anyway,
mine was a long distance call.
exactly. I'm closer to God in Denver. There you go. Anyway, the next day before I got out of bed, my girlfriend Cindy did call me about this and just said, there's been a huge breakthrough, and this is incredible, and you need to know about it. And your name popped in my head last night, and I knew why. And so, as many of you know at this point, I took it to a girlfriend of mine who happened to be brilliant and a research scientist at the National Institutes of Health. When she confirmed how huge this was, which already, I did watch Alan Noble's video. Bless Alan Noble for all the work he had done, because his was the only video we had at the time. And I watched it 4 times. And when I was learning where it was made, what it did for the body, it was inconceivable to me that this wouldn't be world renowned. And I thought, if this is true, this has got to be huge. And which is what made me go to my girlfriend. And she confirmed that this was absolutely massive, and there couldn't be anything bigger, and that they've been trying to do this at NIH. And I've met several of the doctors now through this who had worked on teams at NIH trying to stabilize these. No one had been able to do that. That's an incredible, also significant instance that's happened for ASEA. For our scientists and our founder to be able to come up with a stabilization whereabouts to be able to stabilize these molecules is another divine appointment, basically. Only divine intervention could have put the solution into their heads. And so I am very proud to be part of ASEA, very proud to be part of bringing this to the world so that the world can be changed, so our health fields could be changed. I am so sick of our medical system in the United States at this point, and that's my larger goal, is to change the medical field as we know it. And I think through ASEA we can do that. And so I am blessed to be part of this family. I'm blessed to be part of ASEA, and it is truly a meaningful, so powerful transformation of cellular health by just taking these molecules and letting them enlighten our cells. so it can communicate, so they can communicate. Thank you.
I love that. And you've done a really good job of changing a lot of lives, Debbie. So fantastic. And your goals kind of align a lot with mine. You know, as a traditional medical doctor, I got to the point where I realized that what I was doing was not having the effect that I was looking for, that I wasn't curing anybody, wasn't getting them back to baseline. I was maybe helping them manage their diseases and but not getting them healthy. And that's our truly our goal. That's what we're part of here is getting people healthy and helping them.
You muted yourself, Maureen.
Muted, Maureen.
Hit the mute
That-
button.
That was God. I didn't
My
touch anything.
wife does that.
Divine
to me often.
intervention. You
That
will
was
come-
divine. I don't know how to take it. You know, here in Galveston, we must not be as close as you are, Debbie. But anyway, I was going to let the pastor speak, so maybe that was it. Going over to North Carolina to the pastor who is still preaching about wellness now. Ed Weens, come on and share a little bit.
Well, good evening. It's good to be with some of my dear friends and colleagues. Some of you I've known for a long time, 25, probably 30 years, some of you. So it's always a pleasure to get a chance to collaborate with you. Just looking back at sort of how this all began. And for me, I was fortunate on one hand to hear about this company clear back about when it was not much older than when Alan heard about it, but I wasn't nearly as astute, not nearly as wise and insightful as he was. Thankful to my good friends Chuck and Tammy Gates, who called me about this back in 2009, late 2009. But timing sometimes is an issue for all of us. We have different phases of life, different circumstances that we're dealing with, and it was just not a time for me right then to be real open. But I also had been around this industry a long time. Gosh, I'm probably 40 plus years in this industry. So I've seen what happens, but I've seen that new companies typically don't make it. Very few companies, percentage-wise, have their second birthday in this industry. So I just thought, this is a new company. It's a product. I have no idea what it is. I'm excited for my friends. They're excited about it, but it's probably not going to be here in a couple of years. So I'm not going to spend a lot of time and energy. But thankfully, I was newly married, probably 6 months at the time, to Rebecca, a very smart, research-minded nurse that's based here in North Carolina, where North Carolinians believe, and they probably have a good basis for this belief. They believe that North Carolina is the epicenter globally for medical research and scientific knowledge. And it might be true. And thankfully, she had enough maybe it was blind faith. I'm not sure exactly what it was, but she got on a plane in January of 2010, almost exactly 15 years ago, and flew to Salt Lake City and came back and said, well, I met the founders and the medical folks, and it made sense to me. So I signed this up. So that was kind of, I thought, oh, okay. But truthfully, I didn't get it. And I had been in the industry a long time, and I came from a background of service, as Maureen has alluded to, and that's what I loved about network marketing. It was a service-oriented industry. If you didn't really care for other people's well-being and benefit, then you're not going to go very far in this business. If you had Zig Ziglar, his son, on a Zoom call right now, you would see the quote behind him on the wall that his father made famous. That is really kind of the battle cry of this company. If you help enough people get what they want, you can have anything that you want. And I love that principle in this industry, but I didn't connect with the CIA right away. I sat back and watched from a distance for about 5 years. And then some circumstances changed, and I thought, okay, maybe I should take another look. And I did. I made the trip to Salt Lake City to meet Virtus. I got a chance to hear the Genesis story from Adam. And so it was a real wake-up call to realize that I had been around something and exposed to something for that long and had really neglected the potential of it. And I felt a little guilt. And I've done my best over the last 10 plus years now to make up for what we didn't do those first 5. So it's a pleasure to be a part of it. It's an amazing opportunity. I think sometimes we don't recognize where we are in terms of history and opportunity. A lot of times that's true in life, and you look back and realize, gee, I guess I was in the right place at the right time. I just didn't know it then. And so my challenge really is to help people understand that if you've ever dreamed of being in the right place at the right time, with the right company, the right product, you're there. Wake up. You're there, and take advantage. Like all kinds of stories of people who were in the right place at the right time and just didn't realize it and didn't take action. But we can tell those another time. So it's just a pleasure to be a part of it. We're on the threshold of a real upsurge right now that is a wonderful chapter in any company's history when they have the launch of something new that has huge potential. It just bodes very well for the folks who are already in the pool and or on the surfboard paddling out to catch the next wave. So thank you for the chance to be here tonight.
Yeah, thanks for coming on and sharing. And you're absolutely right. These last 15, 16 years, I've only been involved for 12, but absolutely amazing. And we're just getting going. The next wave is going to be absolutely huge. So thank you for that, Ed. Now I'm going to go to Gina Moran, my Disney princess sister from Spokane, Washington. She and I both like to wear our tiaras whenever we can. I'm Belle and she's Cinderella. So Gina, come on and share.
Well, thank you, Maureen. Hey, it's an honor to be here with all of you. As I think back, we've traveled the world together, you guys. This has been so fun. And to think that I would have never even met you if it hadn't been for 12 years ago when a couple of doctors brought this to me. And my story is a little different than most because I didn't have a health challenge. I had a financial crisis and a huge one. We're building a $1.2 million home. Many of you remember the 08, 09 mortgage and real estate crisis. Well, we landed right in the middle of both of it. I mean, we literally couldn't roll the construction loan into the end loan, and everything came crumbling down. So bankruptcy, foreclosure, husband lost his computer job. I mean, we were in dire straits. And the thing about it is I still had 4 of my 6 children at home that I was homeschooling. So this was a pretty critical time for me. And I think, like Debbie, I kind of put it out there with some spiritual mindset behind it because I didn't know what we were going to do. I mean, and guys, I don't ever want to be there again. I don't know about you. I don't know if you've ever lost anything like that or been in dire straits. When you lose everything and you don't even know where your next meal's coming from, if it was just you, it's one thing. But when you have 4 children looking at you and depending on you, it was very, very challenging. So I'll be forever grateful for that call I received from Jerry White after I put those prayers up there about a week prior. God sometimes takes his time. But I got that call and saying, hey, we got to meet at the coffee shop. And I thought, what in the world? What's up? And, he had told me that he and Dick had actually been down to Salt Lake, met, some lead scientists, medical atomic physicists who had actually stabilized this technology. And guys, I'm not a scientist and I don't really want to be in the medical field. I just knew that I needed a way out of the rabbit hole. I needed something like this. And I didn't even know what it was. But I knew that those guys with their, 30, 40 years of expertise in Western medicine and CNA, complementary and alternative modalities, they weren't going to be fooled. So I trusted they had done all the due diligence, kind of like Ed, trusting Rebecca. I knew these guys, they weren't going to miss anything. They weren't going to be fooled. And once I knew that they were convinced beyond belief that they truly had their hands on the greatest scientific achievement since the discovery of DNA or penicillin, I said, I'm in. And even though I couldn't afford to enroll that day, I couldn't even afford to. I knew that I couldn't afford not to. And I'm so grateful that I made that decision because I would have never known where my life would be. Just, like you were talking about these movies. I mean, you talk about Cinderella Man. That's why I wear the tiara, because I am the Cinderella. If you've ever seen the movie with Russell Crowe, Cinderella Man, well, that was me. I was fighting for milk. And that was as real as ever. And I didn't even know what to expect, guys. Like I said, I didn't really have any health challenges myself. I thought I was pretty healthy, not on any medication, but I gave it to my daughter. She was having a, issue with her sinuses, had for years. We tried everything over the counter, under the counter, behind the counter, could never seem to get, completely over it. And today she's one of Alan Noble's Real Redox Result Testimonials, I think number 72. because she had an instant response with it, using it as a nose rinse of all things. And she told me, you know, Mom, I almost threw up when I saw what was coming out. I mean, it went deep in that sinus cavity, took out things that had been there, and then she slept like a baby. She just had the best night's sleep she'd ever had. She was 17 years old. So I thought, well, isn't that interesting? So then I just went out and found, you know, a few other friends that I knew had some issues that they could gauge. And I said, I really want you guys to, you know, just basically be my guinea pigs. I needed to know, I needed to hear. I'm a show me girl. I just wanted to see what would happen. And all of a sudden, you know, people were calling me back, even within that first week, and saying, wow, could it happen this fast? I said, well, I don't know what's happening. And they were having all kinds of great experiences. As you all know, I mean, these molecules are affecting 75 trillion cells. They're not selective. They're going in and crossing the blood-brain barrier. They're affecting everything, you know, from head to toe, brain cells, heart cells, liver cells, lung cells, skin cells, turning over new cells. And that's what I love the most, is that the anti-aging benefits of this. I'll tell you what, I've been drinking it for 12 years and I feel like I'm 20 years younger, right? I should look and feel 12 years older, but it's the opposite. I mean, wouldn't you love to just get up and know that you're literally aging backwards, and that we really do have the key that unlocks the body's ability not just to heal, but to turn back the clock, to literally turn back the biological clock as you go chronologically older. But, you know, more importantly, what I've seen here in just my short 12 years has been absolutely life-changing. As I began to put this, you know, share this with people and get it out there, I have seen some of the most profound, life-changing testimonies, people who were knocking on death's door, people who, you know, just had no hope, had been sent home to, you know, the new normal, which wasn't a good quality of life. People who struggle with everything from A to Z, because all disease is linked to a damaged cell. So it doesn't really matter what we name it or brand it or diagnose it as. It's all linked to a damaged cell. We just figured out how to fix the cell. We figured out how to find it, how to, you know, give it its marching orders. And that's all I needed to know. I just needed to know that my life could matter. I could make a difference. And today I know that, you know, life without purpose is the greatest tragedy. And today I feel, every day I wake up, I just feel flooded with joy that I get to bring joy to another human being, that I can help people not only live a quality life, but that I can give them an opportunity to, you know, bring in some additional income. Because I think today that's sometimes more important. It causes a lot of stress. And believe me, I know from personal experience what that stress can feel like. When there's a lack of money, it's all you think about and it completely consumes you. And it's the cause of some of our stress, is the cause of some of our greatest diseases in our country. So just being able to help people to really, you know, like Ed said, that's my favorite line, is either you just help enough people get what they want, you can have everything that you want. And it truly is real here, because when you align yourself with this company, you know that you've found a safe place you can call home. There's just never been a greater opportunity here, especially with what's coming. So sometimes I feel like we're on the Starship Enterprise. You know, we're going where no man's gone before, and we're going to take over some territory here. It's going to be very exciting. So fasten your seatbelts, because here we go.
That is so awesome, Jean. I love that. And I love everything you said, but I'm also incredibly impressed that when you were so down and things were so tough, that you could see the opportunity that was being presented to you. Because I think a lot of people lack that vision. You know, when they're in desperation, they can't even see that somebody's throwing them a lifeline. So kudos to you, because you've turned it around and you're an incredible success now in helping lots and lots of people. So fantastic. So next, I'd like to bring on my sponsor, Terry Latham, Ambassador Triple Diamond from Dripping Springs, Texas. Excuse me. We had a conversation early on 12 years ago. And he didn't know. We were having a conversation about something else. And I was asking him why he left a company that I had been in, but never succeeded. It was another network marketing company, and had energy products that I used in my pain clinic. And I wasn't very successful, but he was. And he was leaving the company. And I was asking him why he would. I knew why I left, because I needed to make a living. But I didn't know why he would leave. And that's what started all of this. What he didn't know at that time was that my husband was incredibly sick. And this was a lifeline for us. And that's how we got started. So Terry Latham, please come on and give us a little bit of background, how you got started, what you saw, and maybe take us into the next level of this. I don't know what Jim and Ann must be off having dinner or something. heard out of them. So
Well,
we'll pick it up.
I've been in network marketing for 24 years, full time for 21. And what brought me into this industry, I wanted to be a dad. I mean, look, we could produce kids, but I wanted to be home. And I was already making money. I was in a technology world. We're in the top of our field in our 20s, making money, but we had no time. I've been exposed to network marketing many different times, but my dad approached me at the company as a wellness company. I decided to join that, and we eventually had success there. But like with some companies in any industry, that company started to let us down. And I knew about ASEA for about 3 years before making our decision to be a part of it. And the only thing I knew, it was salt water from Salt Lake City dealing with something called redox signaling molecules. And I truly didn't know if that had a patent on the Great Salt Lake. I'm not trying to be funny. I just didn't know what it was and really didn't put much thought into it. But when it came to a time I needed to make a decision to find a home, because guys, look, I always tell people I love the industry of network marketing. If you have any aversions to it, get educated, read about it, understand this space, because it's just a means of distribution. That's all it is. So when I started to look for a company, of course, because that company started to let us down, and then of course ASEA popped up because a good friend of mine, Jerry White, we had started having a conversation. He'd done some research for over 3 years on this company. Well, it didn't take me that long. It took me 48 hours to make my decision to be a part of this. Now, when we first started, ASEA only had the drink. Now, I want to make it clear we had the skill sets when we came to this business. And if as people decide, if they decide that they want to build this as a business, treat it like a business, learn the skill sets of how to build a business, and you're good forever because you can always build something pretty quick. So I came to ASEA with the skill sets, and what really happened, I ordered the product. I ordered the biggest kit they had at the time. So I had 8 cases of this drink that showed up. And I didn't know there's a lot more to the story. But the only thing I did is I'd call people and if I said, hey, Maureen, this is Terry, did I catch you at a bad time? Now our conversation is a little different. But I said, look, I'm about to make a massive business move. Just want to see if you're open to making some money. So I came a little bit different backwards, guys. You're hearing a lot of people with testimonials and things of that nature. And there's everybody'd say, well, what is it? You know, how they responded. Nobody ever said no. If they said no, it's a short conversation. But so, well, what is it? Well, look, you're busy. I'm busy too. This company's put together a system of information to educate you so we don't waste each other's time. So I zip over a quick little 10-minute video and they'd watch the video. And this by following that simple process, we were able to build it pretty quick. Now, here's the reason why, because the product works. We knew that 50% of the people will get results in 30 days and 90% in 90. Not everybody's willing to jump in the boat or have the experience, but everybody's looking for more money or better health. And we kind of knew this, and I'm not going to play the game of convincing people because I had the professional experience of how to build a network. But by doing that, we've seen amazing experiences with the company, with the product. It's been an amazing ride. I will share with you, my oldest, now 22, when I started in ASEA, he was about 10 years old, and he has a very bad vision. To give you an idea, he can't see the alarm clock with the big numbers without his glasses. So he has bad vision and also bad stigmatism. When we started, we knew it was 100% non-toxic, 100% native, and my son started to spray it in his eyes just because it was a soothing effect, because he felt like he had dry eyes. So it said, great. Well, after about a year, if you've ever had a child or somebody, a loved one that has bad vision, you're probably used to, as they get older, their vision tends to get a little bit worse. So he told his mom the following year, Mom, I'm having a hard time seeing the board at school. So she took him to the ophthalmologist and they did the scan. And the doctor comes back in and says, what are you doing? And she goes, excuse me? And so, well, your son's vision's not worse, it's better, and his stigmatism is starting to reverse. And my son at the age of 10, and my wife sitting back, what? Because she's still wondering if she believes in the ASEA at that time. She liked the checks, by the way. I will throw that out. But at the time, my 10-year-old son says, Mom, tell him it's ASEA. So I'm happy to say that our children, because we made the decision 24 years ago to be a part of this space, my oldest is 22, and he's at Texas A&M. My daughter's at 19 now. She's at University of Utah. My youngest, 17, is a junior in high school. They've never known their parents to go to work in a traditional sense. We've both been able to be home to raise our kids.
That's amazing. And that's something that especially this generation aspires to. They don't see it. You know, people need to go out and they need to work hard so that they see what this really, the options that it gives us. But you know, this checks all the boxes. It's allowed you to stay home. You're incredibly successful with this company. You've changed so many people's lives, including your families, because you've been able to be there every day for your kids and for your wife. And absolutely amazing. And I thank God every day for the conversation that we had and how it came about. If you don't think that God's hand is on this company, I mean, even how I got connected to Terry or had that conversation, it was by a mistake, something that got put on Facebook that was in the wrong place, and I called him about it. And he was like, how did you happen to see that? So just very, very interesting how we all get connected here. But, you know, I'd like to move on, and Jim's our big money man, so I'm going to bring him on because we've
Well,
got some.
Maureen, I really want to dig into the next chapter. We got 2.0. Yeah, I'm an
That's what I was
ex-stockbroker
gonna-
for 30
Yes.
years.
Go ahead.
I did brokerage for 30 years. I used to do IPOs, initial public offerings, and this is the hottest deal I've ever seen. You couldn't think of anything bigger than what we have our hands on. And that was before Redox Gold. Now we have something that we can show anybody and everybody right now that it works. And no one else has this. It's not just about relief, it's about recovery. So, Dr. Silverman, if you don't mind, just come on real quick. Then, Alan, what do we have our hands on, Doc?
I am so excited about this. And I've been in ASEA for 14 years. And I'll give you an example. I live in a retirement community here in Florida. And I play a lot of golf. First of all, I'm 64 and I feel like I'm in my 30s because of the liquid. This is the most important product we have. This is life. The only thing more valuable in my house is my wife and my dog. That's it. And maybe not the dog. I don't know. The wife, definitely. This is the greatest breakthrough in the history of health. And people just don't believe it because it's network marketing. It's made from salt and water. They don't understand it. We do. And many of the people that are on here watching have already had experiences, but it's kind of esoteric. It's hard to explain it. And you got to drink it for maybe a week or a month or 3 months before you say, my God, it's the greatest thing ever. Well, I live in this retirement community here, and I've been here for we still have the home in Maryland, but I've been here all winter for since 2017, 18. And some of the people on the product, some they say, thank God for you, you saved my life. And a lot of people are like, I'm on the medical board of the company with Maureen, and we've had this, Maureen, since like late September. We got this, and we all had a total of 3 tubes. And every single person I put this on within 30 seconds to 10 minutes said, I want this. How do I get this? We didn't have it. It's being launched officially this coming week on February 6th in the US and March 1st in Europe and much of Asia. But this is the next generation of this product. And it represents so much more than just, wow, put it on 10 people and watch what happens to 9 of them, right? Because it's like bang, boom. It's beyond, I've never seen anything like it. In fact, what we do on our group is we have people, when they start, we're like, you got to believe, you have to build belief in the product to understand what we have, that it's real, and it create a sense of urgency. We have this test on 10 form where we say, you got a product, you got a 30-day money back guarantee, start drinking the liquid, baseline everything in your health, sleep, energy, mood, blood sugar, breathing problems, sleeping problems, memory, everything. Drink this for 3 months properly, 6 ounces a day. But you want to know immediately, go put it on 10 people that have anything in their body that they have discomfort of any level. Their finger hurts, it's a 1 out of 10. Their neck discomfort is, that's a 9, whatever it is, and put it on. This is going crazy here where I live now. I've never seen anything like it. And all it took was putting it on 3, 4, 5 people, and they're talking like butterflies. Golf Pro here we play in a golf tournament. We play this thing, and I said, are you playing? He goes, no, I can't, my back. I gave him a little sample of it. I said, here, put this on. If you don't see a change in 3 minutes on your back, if you don't see a change I was walking away, 3 minutes, then do it one more time. And you tell me how you do. Now I was in a tournament this morning. I walk to sign in. He's like, what is that stuff? And all the pros came over to me. They were like, yeah, Joe comes over and he's like, I'm lifting my leg. I can't believe this. What is that? It's magic. And then the business conversation came in, which is pretty interesting. But the power of this is that you don't have to talk. You don't have to say, watch a video. That's part of it. It's give people an experience. Relief is belief. And when you go and put this on 10, here's mine. Here's my first sheet, round one. That's the 10 people. I have before and after, exactly what happened with them. It gets the person who just signed up so excited about what they have and confident in it that it's going to work almost every time. Almost every time. So then they go out and they talk to people and they have conversations with people and plug them into Zooms like this, get them to watch the recording of this Zoom. And they start thinking, wow, it's more than just my shoulder. My gosh. I mean, there's this drink. What's the drink? What does that do? I didn't think it was going to help my shoulder. And then they hear about the opportunity. And look, most people go through life struggling or settling with too little time freedom, too little money, too little meaning. And you give someone this gift and say, hey, you got a 16-year-old company that's done 1.6 billion in sales, about 170 million last year, which means nobody knows about it. Sounds like a lot of money, but nobody knows. And you go out and you put it on 10 people, all 10 of these people bought it. They all wanted it, at least buying the product. And then you try to get them to get the entire picture. It's just incredible what's happening. So February 6th, when this becomes available in the US and around the world March 1st, I mean, everybody's got to get a bunch of this stuff and go out and have a forum like this and go do it on 10. And in our group, we're like, you're going to do it on 100. And people say, I don't know 100 people. Well, when you put it on your first 10 and you see how they all want to buy it and you see the response, you're like, okay, I'm going to print my next form. I'm going to do it on everybody. And it really is exciting. If you can't tell I'm excited, then something's wrong with you.
Cool.
That's
Thank you,
awesome.
David. Alan, I know speaking of next Thursday, you've got a show that you're going to be doing. Can you kind of touch on that real quick and share your
Yes.
thoughts?
Same time, same station, 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central, discoversia.com. I'm going to host a Redox Gold launch party. The product will be out about approximately eight hours by that point. It'll be available, and we're really excited about that. We're going to explain what it is, going to give a nice presentation, short presentation. We're going to have a ton of testimonials. We're going to hear how this is impacting people's lives. And we're also going to get into some big picture stuff. I want to share a story with you here that I love telling this, but I had a dear friend in Salt Lake City, and we were out there, all of us were out there, being exposed to this product for the first time. We got our beautiful sweatshirts and Redox Gold shirts, and a friend of mine saw that I was out there and saw some posts on Facebook about this. Now, his wife had an astonishing result with the Big Blue Bottle 15 years earlier. They've been very loyal customers for 15 years. The product changed her life, but she had quite a bit of discomfort still left in her body. And he was reading on Facebook some of the posts I was putting up, and he says, look, is there any way I can meet you at the hotel? Because I'd really like to get some of this new gel. And I said, sure. So we arranged the meetup. And I only had a few minutes with him because I was literally running to the post office to mail Redox Gold out to people who had kind of pre-ordered it from me. And so I just said, listen, Dave, you will be texting me in about 2 hours' time with your wife's testimonial. I've never been so confident in my life. He goes, are you serious? Because he was used to the old figures, 50% of people in 30 days, 90% in 90 days. I said, you will be texting me your wife's testimonial within 2 hours. And I said, gotta run, way to the post office. Sure enough, 2 hours later, I get a text come in. And I'll read the first part of it just. Dude, capital D-U-D-E exclamation mark. What kind of witchcraft is this stuff? And then he went on to tell me literally how his wife's discomfort was dramatically improved within seconds. And in 20 minutes, it was gone. It was gone. And literally, that was the first testimonial I got while I was still in Utah. And they have just kept coming in every single day for the last couple of weeks. I've never seen a product work this fast on so many people. And the bottom, look, I don't hurt. I'm very blessed, good health. I don't hurt. But here's the thing. You either hurt or you know someone that hurts. It's a very simple equation. And this product, it's so easy to find the end users. People self-identify. That's me. I need that. I need to hear about that. And it works so fast. my gut feeling, and the others can tell me if I'm off on this, but like 90% of people, it's 15 seconds to 15 minutes. It's absolutely astonishing, and it's changing lives faster than we ever thought possible. So there's so much more for me to say, but let me pass over to some of the others here.
Yeah, brother Ed.
Just here's a couple of examples of what Alan's just talking about today. Just today, we have a little health food store just a couple blocks downtown. We buy some healthy stuff from them. So I was in there today, and the young lady, I was taking a sample into the owner of the shop, the other lady that works there. I said, "Hey, do you have any place that you kind of feel some discomfort?" She goes, "Yeah, my neck." I gave her one of these tubes. I said, "Give me a number." She told me a number, kind of where it was. And before I walked away from the counter, she's going like this. She says, "Man," she said, "it's gone. It's completely gone." And she was just shocked. I said, "Well, you can give that tube to the owner, but that little tube is for you." And she was so thrilled. One of our neighbors lives in our condo building here. I saw her in the lobby a couple of days ago. She's had surgery recently. And I said, "Hey," I gave her one of these little tubes. I literally got a text while we're on the Zoom tonight. She said, "It's me, Taylor. I love that cream. Can I get a normal size tube of that? Can I buy one from you?" So when I hang up from this, I've got to go leave a tube outside their door and a couple of dog treats for their dogs. And but that's the immediacy and the power of the benefit of this. It's just get it out there, get it on people, and you'll see results.
It's going viral here because I live in a retirement community. I mean, it's like everybody, it's like it's the buzz. Give me some of that stuff. I was at the bar and somebody said, "What's that stuff? I've heard about it." I said, "Here, put some on." He's obese. He's got back problems. And I'm sitting there talking and he goes, "This is crazy. What is this?" I mean, it is not the end all be all, but I'll tell you what's really cool. And Maureen, you know this because you're on the medical board. Right. This changes. This is the next level of the company. This is what pushes us to go viral because it's so immediate. It makes you want to go out and put it on people because you know it's going to work. But what it represents is much more than that because this basically this is broad spectrum. It covers everything, including discomfort. But this is focused on discomfort, relief, and recovery. And what they've got from the studies, they developed this. This is the first development of the focused targeted products. This is focused on, can't say exactly what it's focused on, but things that will causes severe discomfort, mild discomfort. There's a word for it. It's not a medicine, so can't say it. But imagine if they could focus on mental function or immune function, or they could function on digestive function. It is really, really exciting that we got a 16-year-old company. Nobody knows we're here. And it is going to be massive. And it's just a matter of time before Oprah Winfrey says, "Oh my God, you got to get this stuff," or somebody gets it on. I know some very famous people. This is on already. It's just a matter of time. They're just going to say, "You got to get this stuff." And the floodgates are going to open, and all of us who have been building our businesses are going to reap the rewards of the world finally finding out what we know.
Yeah. Debbie, share real quick what you've seen, and then Gina, then Carrie, you that next.
Well, I happen to be on a video with a whole team, and the lady actually got her product while we were sitting there. So this is two people that did that. One was 94 years old, and she's had foot problems for years, and she put it on while we were on the video, and immediately felt the relief and was kind of dancing around, and she's legally blind. So this was an amazing story to me, her relief. But the other lady had been in a wheelchair, and we always saw her in a wheelchair, and she never stood up or anything. And she got her product and she started rubbing it on her hips and on her legs, and and all of a sudden you saw her face change. And this just, I think this is why everybody to see it does what they do. Her face just changed. She stood up. She sat down. She stood up. She sat down. She looked at the video and said, "You guys have never seen me stand up this whole time that we've been on team phone calls because I couldn't. The pain was too much." And she said pain, sorry. But anyway, the discomfort was so bad that she couldn't stand up, and she was able to stand up. And she just had tears in her eyes. And we all just sat there with our mouths open thinking, what more can this company do that it hasn't already done? And I know all the different places we could go with, what we can focus on. And as David said, mental function and, cardiovascular function, all these different functions that we could target. But this is what affects probably the most people across the board. And we just have this gift. And it's been going viral, as everyone said. And I don't know. I don't think I could be any more excited, but I was excited 15 years ago. I'm still so excited. So,
And it's only been out we've only had our hands on it for a little over 2 weeks.
3 weeks.
exactly.
And look what's going on. What about you, Gina, real quick?
Oh my gosh. So we were having product experiences the night that the product was released in Salt Lake. Thank goodness, thank God we were fortunate enough to get some of this stuff. And we were sitting around the table and people were just putting it on for the first time. It was like, geez, oh my Jesus. And I had been walking on, I'm at home, I'm cash most of the time, so I don't usually wear heels. And I'd wore some boots with just a little heel for 2 days, and my feet were killing me. And so I couldn't even barely get into the bathroom to get my tennis shoes on to get, catch the plane home after being there for 2 days. And I'll tell you what, guys, you never want to take your socks off in the bathroom. I couldn't help it. And I had to get this stuff on my feet, and I had my own experience. So it was just immediate. But here's the thing. We have a call 3 times a week, and we do some Zooms. And guys, I've had 3 people so far that have come forward with testimonies of putting it on people that had literally had pain in their body. Ooh, discomfort. I wasn't going to say that word. Discomfort in their bodies for 20 years. 20 years. And are you kidding me? One application. How is that working? There's more to the properties of gold, the healing properties of gold, I think, than we even realize, right? And look, if a medical atomic physicist had said 15 years ago that this technology had the potential to spearhead some of the greatest advancements in health science, and here we are 15 years later, and I think we're just now starting to see that. This is just the beginning. But here's another thing. We've been experimenting with it in other ways. And you guys, if you remember when Renew came out, right, Alan, we thought it was just a cosmetic product. Well, we found out a little later that, geez, it was a whole lot more than cosmetic. Now we've got a paper I think it's even in your VO, or it's out there somewhere. There's 50 different ways to use that gel. 50 ways. Cuts, wounds, burns, scars, wrinkles, pimples, doesn't matter. Inflammation, discomfort. Well, what do you think we're going to find out? We're just, like Jim said, we're 2 weeks into this. What do you think we're going to find out in 2 months, 2 years? Oh my gosh, I couldn't be more excited. All right.
Exactly. Go ahead, Ann.
Oh, no, I was just listening to the stories, and I was thinking about a gentleman that we know that was on crutches because he had an injury to his back. And of course, Jim can relate. So I had him drive over a sample, and he walked into his room. He was sitting in the chair. He couldn't get up, couldn't walk. Jim said, let's go ahead and do this now. In a matter of minutes, this gentleman and his wife could not believe that he was able to not only get up out of the chair, but walk. And what's neat about that story is he shared it amongst some other choir members of church. And that friend needed that testimony. Though it wasn't enough from her best friend of me of 10 years. She heard the story from someone else and got the courage to get back on, and got back on it after being off it, justifying why she got off. Now she's back on it, all from a story, not only on the liquid, but next week on the gold. And then 2 other people this week shared, yeah, I've been seeing it all over Facebook, and they're finally now thinking about getting back on. And then we saw a nurse on Wednesday, Terry was at that meeting, and she said, it's blowing up my feeds all over Facebook. So people are seeing it. And Terry knows we've been announcing different groups are doing watch parties, and just like Deb said, it's going viral. Everyone is sharing it wherever they live, and it's so easy to share this, whereas maybe it was a challenge for people with the blue bottle. I mean, it doesn't take much explanation. It really just takes an experience. So we're super excited
So Terry, wrap it up, and then Alan, you close this out.
So just real quick, I mean, I was going to share a couple, but we're running pretty low on time. So
Oh, we're good. Go ahead,
I had
Terry.
I had a buddy of mine that one will hit the point. I want everybody to understand something. This now makes this a clear opportunity. We've always had an opportunity, but old habits die hard. And please don't make this go back into old habits. This truly opens people's eyes real quick. And I'll give you an example. I had a good friend of mine join me when I started. He a couple months after me, and he'd been in for 12 years. He consumes the product on and off, and we kept in touch. Like I said, I've known him for a long time. Anyway, we launched Gold. I called him up and said we need to sit down and talk. So we get together. Now he had a couple things going on with his shoulders where he spent thousands of dollars over the past 10, 11 months. Now he's a hard charging kind of guy. Let's get it done. Short, sweet, to the point. So he wanted to fire questions to me, and I just said, I don't know, let's just rub this on your shoulder before we start talking. So he takes this stuff and rubs it, and we just start talking, getting caught up. And it didn't take but 5 minutes. This way he starts doing this number. Guys, I've done this long enough. I know what's going on. He's doing this. And he goes, man, I don't hurt. So I'm going to sum this up like this. He went home and he put a post on Facebook, a simple post with a little dab of the gel and the money, quarter right here. And he said, this little dab changed my life. Since then, this is a week and a half ago, he's had 62 people come on and become customers for this particular product. Awesome. Guys, I can't stress enough. We are at the right place at the right time, at the right opportunity. If you've ever wanted anything more, this is it. If you wanted to help people, this is it. Don't overcomplicate it. Don't get stuck in the weeds. Don't let people drag you off in the weeds. Just say it is what it is. Do you want to consume it, or do you know people can benefit from it? If you need more information, I'll come back to you here in about a month, because right now we're running. So thank you for letting me have a little bit of time tonight, Jim. I really appreciate you guys putting this together.
Thank you, Terry.
Yeah, thanks.
Alan?
Oh, great comments by Terry. I mean, look, when you're building a network of distribution, it's a lot of people doing a little bit, and you got to be able to build a business at a common denominator. We often say at a 6th grade level. That's where newspapers are written. It's a very duplicatable way to do it. And there's a phrase, it's been psychoduological. I love that word. Don't ask me to spell it, but psychoduological. It simply means I can do this. You know, the thing that's going to really allow someone to join a business is they go, I can do this. If somebody sees it, they love the product, they think it's all great, they like you, but they don't think they can do it, they're not going to join with you. And I don't think I've ever seen 30 years as a professional network marketer in the health and wellness field. I don't think I've ever seen a product that is so I can't even say it now, that so many people are saying, I can do this. You know, there's another very interesting thing that's going on. Another little training in our business is it's easier to give birth than resurrect the dead. Okay. I'll tell you, with Redox Gold, the dead are walking and they're bringing their friends. I have people, I've been doing this a long time, and so people have fallen off the bandwagon for whatever reason. And they are waking up. I'm getting text messages, Facebook messages, WhatsApp messages. A couple of carrier pigeons have knocked at the window with little notes in their ankles. And they're saying, hey, what's this Redox Gold? I've already got 3 people interested. And I've never seen that in my entire 30-year career. And so I want to imagine, what I'm giving you a visual of is just little ripple effects. But guess what? Those ripple effects start to build into a tidal wave. And that's what we mean by this viral product. Guys, if you're not almost sleepless with excitement, then you don't get it yet. You know, you don't get it yet. This is absolutely incredible. And it's not just gold. Again, the transition from, hey, if you like what this did for your joints, guess what? We got one for the skin. Wrinkles, elasticity, stretch marks, cellulite, redness, irritation, etc. Hey, beyond that, from the inside as well. You know, I mean, we have the most beautiful product offering, but this product, because the audience self-identifies, they either hurt or they know someone that hurts. 90% of the time, it's 15 seconds to 15 minutes, gets amazing results, and people go, I can do this. And guys, that is the magic ingredients for a viral opportunity where you will achieve success. I used to say this is a business to a significant 6-figure income in 3 to 5 years. That's what it used to be. I'm telling you, hand on heart, if somebody applies themselves, this is 6 to 12 months. That's how fast this can go. I mean, you could literally be going into Christmas 2025 and your entire financial existence is totally different. And you will have changed thousands of people's lives with this because it's psychoduological. Anyone can do it. That's the beauty about it. So anyway, enough for me. Thank you so much for having me on here. Back to you, Jim.
Maureen, you want to say anything? Guys, what then? This is just the beginning. There's more targeted things coming. I'm not sure who mentioned it was Brother Ed or David, but there's more stuff coming. I mean, what else do you need? Maureen?
I'm just thinking, you're so funny, Jim. You asked me if I had to say anything, and you kept talking.
But I kept talking.
love
I'll
this.
shut you up.
I love this man.
Don't laugh at me, Latham. My favorite movie, by the way, is The Sound of Music.
Oh gosh.
Mine's Birdcage, but go figure.
Yeah, that and Rudy. Go ahead.
Anyway, you guys, you know what? Thank you all for taking time on your Friday night to be with us. We had quite a crowd here tonight, and the power of this group is something else. These are regular people who have done extraordinary things, and you can be a part of it too. So please join us. Please order this February 6th. You're going to be able to get your hands on it. Let's help this company just have a massive, massive launch day and get this product out. I will tell you, I made a career out of helping people with their discomfort. There's a lot of people suffering out there, and suffering is optional. So get your hands on this, share it, and let's make a big, big splash. So thanks, everybody.
Thank you, Maureen. Thank you, guys. We'll be back next Friday, 7 o'clock Central. Thank you all, everybody. Appreciate it.
Thanks.
God bless.
Bye, y'all.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Love you guys.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Love ya.